Hi, the vehicle I'm working on today is a 2001 Chevy Malibu, 3.1 liter engine V6. I used the vehicle yesterday, it worked fine. Pulled in my driveway, put it in park, and when I put it into park, the RPMs were revving up around 3,000. And I'm going to start the car now and show what the RPMs are at. Okay, right now it's at about 2,000 RPMs, which is lower than it was yesterday, but when I pulled in the driveway, the temperature gauge, normally it's a little bit above half, which is normal operating temperature for this vehicle, but yesterday with it revving so high, it was right below the red zone, about 2 lines. So let's turn this off. You can see the RPMs are starting to rise. What I'm going to do today is I have a new air filter. I'm going to clean out the holder for the air filter, put the new air filter in. I have Throttle Body cleaner. I'm going to clean out the throttle body as well as the MAF airflow sensor I'm going to clean. And we'll see if that helps. Okay, now we're at the engine bay. And right here is where the air filter is. On this vehicle, it just has 2 Phillips head screws that I will remove now. Okay, I loosened up the 2 Phillips head screws that are on the air filter cover. What I'm going to do now is loosen up this clamp with it, which is basically just a flathead screw. But before I do that, I'm going to remove the MAF airflow sensor electrical connection here. Okay, that is off. You want to make sure that you remove that connection before you remove this hose assembly with the cover. Okay, I loosened up this clamp, and I'm just going to remove this hose just to make this so we can remove this hose easier. There's also one more electrical connection down here below that you just pull out. You raise that clip and it pulls right out. So all the electrical connections are disconnected, and now we're going to proceed to remove the air hose here and the air filter cover. Okay, all you have to do to get this wide hose off is just use your fingers and just work the rubber at the edge of the hose, and it'll pop right off. And then you're able to remove the whole cover assembly along with the MAF airflow sensor, which will expose your air filter. And this one's fairly dirty. So what I'm going to do now is just use a vacuum and just vacuum out all this grit and grime in here and put a new air filter in. Okay, I vacuumed out the holder for the air filter, so that's relatively clean. There's no loose dirt. If you look where that big wide gray hose connected, this is the throttle body, and you can see in there that there is a large amount of carbon buildup around the lip of the plate, the throttle plate, and just in general all around here. So I have some throttle body air intake cleaner. The bottle in my hand actually looks bigger than it actually is. It's probably a little bit taller than a pack of cigarettes. I got this as well as the MAF airflow sensor cleaner. They came in a 2-pack at Walmart. I paid $7.88. Basically one can will probably do 1 car of each. So I'm going to spray this out now with the throttle body cleaner. and we'll see how that goes. Just as a side note, anytime you're working with sprays or liquids, it's always a good idea to have a pair of safety glasses and put them on, so we'll do that now. Just to give you a better idea, I have a light. I don't know if you can really see it very well, but all inside the throttle body behind the butterfly plate, which is moving. I'm basically just using my hand over here and moving this throttle cable, and that's opening the plate. But inside behind the plate you can see that there is black. That's all carbon buildup that you do not want there, because that'll interfere with the airflow into your engine. So let's see if we can clean that out. Okay, so we have our can of throttle body cleaner. You basically insert the straw that comes with it into the nozzle. I put some paper towels underneath the throttle body just to catch some of the runoff after we spray it in there. And what I'm going to do is just push on the throttle cable with my hand just to open it, and we're going to spray inside. And we'll let it sit for a minute, and we'll wipe that down and then continue on again. Okay, I let that sit for a few seconds. We're now going to wipe this out. You can see all the gunk that's coming off of that, all that carbon, which is you don't want in there. We're going to open up that throttle again and wipe the inside as well. Just look at all that gook and gunk that came out. And we're going to wipe this out thoroughly and then do it another time. I won't show you on the video the second time. You just repeat the first step as I did. Okay, I sprayed that down about 3 times. Wiped it down really well. Behind the plate, on the inside, up behind the plate, there was a lot of carbon buildup. So what you could do, you don't want to stick the straw all the way in there, because my kind of luck is you do that and you spray it, the straw will fly off into the throttle body itself, and then you'll have to fish it out. So just take a piece of toweling or a rag, spray it down, and then open the throttle plate and just rub behind it with the wet toweling. And you can see this stuff that's coming off on it. And you want to make sure you get the lip of the plate as well. I have a new air filter I'm going to put in. You basically just lay it in. So that's ready to go. Now we're going to work on our mass airflow sensor, cleaning that off. Okay, for the mass airflow sensor, for cleaning that off, I don't want to mess with disconnecting anything here because this car is 17 years old. Everything's brittle. But if you look inside, you can see there's a screen on one side which sits right above the air filter. And then if you turn it around and you look inside, you can see those copper-looking bars that go across. There's 3 on the left and 2 on the right. And there's a little one that goes down on the right. That's what you want to use your mass airflow sensor cleaner on. We're going to spray it down. You do not, I repeat, do not want to rub them with any rag or toweling or anything. You're just going to spray it and let it dry. I'm going to do it from this side first, get the screen, and after I spray that down, then I'll flip it over and do the other side. You want to put a rag or toweling underneath, so when you spray it, it'll collect the runoff. The The hardest part was getting the straw on the can. Alright, just going to spray it down. Turn it over. And now we're going to spray the inside of this fairly well. Remember, do not wipe it down with anything. We're just going to let it air dry. And make sure you get the bars going across. Okay, and that's basically it. We'll let this dry for at least a half hour, and then we'll put it on the vehicle. Okay, it's been about a half hour. We're going to reconnect everything. Put the hose back on so it fully covers the lip, and then we're going to tighten the clamp with a flathead screwdriver. Make sure it's snug. Reattach this hose. Just push down. Okay. Okay, we've reconnected this hose, tightened the clamp, reinserted this hose. Now we're going to tighten down the Phillips head screws for the air filter. That's one. And then two. Okay. Now with these two electrical connections that we unplugged before, I like to use dielectric grease on the connections. Just put a dab on here and a dab inside where it's going to connect, and then we'll connect those together, and we'll do the same on this one for the mass airflow sensor. Okay, now we're back in the vehicle. Make sure any tools or rags are out of the engine bay, and we'll start up the vehicle. Okay, the RPMs are a little bit better. It's just over about 1,000. Let it run for a couple minutes and we'll see if it goes down any lower. Something you can do is turn on the air conditioner and let that run for a couple of minutes just to circulate the air in the engine better. You can see the RPMs are now down to just over 1,000, which is a lot better than what it was. So I'll update you if anything changes. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Just as a side note, after I signed off, the RPMs went down below 1,000. It's probably down to about 800 RPMs, which is the normal range for this car. So that fix worked. Hope it helped. Give a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you.